I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'd like to remind everybody we did have a 7 o'clock executive session where personnel and legal issues were discussed. And we'd like to start with the flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have roll call, please?
Mrs. Elder, present. Mr. Hauser. Here. Mrs. Kozar, here. Mrs. Means. Mr. Mueller.
Here.
Mr. Music.
Here.
Mr. Palmer.
Here.
Dr. George. Dr. Laughlin.
Here. Questions and comments are very important to the board and to the administration. So we do have hearing of visitors, part 1 and 2. Part 1 is where you may speak or question something that's on the agenda this evening, and part 2 is when visitors are able to speak to items not on the agenda. If you do want to speak or have comments, you come to the podium, you give your name, your address, and you have 5 minutes to speak or ask questions, and we ask that you return to your seats so we can respond.
My name is Timothy K. Thomas. I live at 1293 Toppers Road, Greensburg address, but it's Unity Township. I would like to know concerning the Finance Committee why they have the meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning rather than have it at times when people at work could be there. That's one. I would also like to know this agreement with the Parks and Rec. Is that pertaining to where we want to build a new LES? If not, we all pay taxes, and Latrobe collects taxes, and so does Unity. Unity has their own recreation committee, and so does Latrobe. So why does the school district have to burden the taxpayers again with having to be a part of Latrobe recreation? I think it's a waste of money, in my opinion. Thank you.
I can speak to the why the finance meeting. There are several of us on the board who are on the finance committee, and each December when we see who's going to be on each committee, those on the committee get together and decide what time would work for them. There are several of us on the board, and most of us do work, and this was just the time that's convenient for all of us. So it wasn't to make it harder for working people, because we work too. We just arranged that on Wednesdays at 10 we can do that. Thank you. Okay. I'd like to move for the resolution 60, the approval of the minutes. It's been approved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? That passes unanimously. Solicitors report, Mr. Nichols?
No report.
And I have no legislative report. Education and planning, since Mrs. Maines isn't here, Mrs. Elder will take over that for this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Franklin, do you have anything to add to the attachments to the agenda? The attachment and the up-to-date enrollment report. I'll move for adoption of resolution number 61 to approve the spring chamber choir trip. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And that passes unanimously.
I'll move for adoption of resolution number 62 to approve the settlement agreement and release regarding student number 01 due process matter.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And that passes unanimously.
And I'd like to bundle a couple of the next few resolutions. Resolution number 63, to approve goodwill of Southwestern Pennsylvania Transition Works Transition Service Agreement for the 2015-2016 school year, and to approve the new Dougherty for speech pathology therapy services agreement for the school year, to approve St. Vincent College Prevention Project 2015-2016 service delivery agreement, and to approve all the teachers' speech and language therapy services contract agreement for the 2015-2016 school year, and to approve the outside-in School of Experiential Education Incorporated contract.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions on 62 to 67? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Those resolutions pass unanimously.
And I'll move for adoption of resolution number 68 to approve the Westmoreland Intermediate Unit Access Billing Services Agreement. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And that vote passes unanimously.
And the next curriculum committee meeting will be Tuesday, November 17th at 5:30 p.m. here before the board.
Thank you. Mr. Robbins, did you have a student report for us this evening? No? Okay. Just wanted to make sure when you have it. And finance, Mrs. Albertin?
Thank you. I'll move for adoption of resolution number 69 to approve the treasurer's report. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And that vote passes unanimously.
I'll move for adoption of resolution number 70 to approve the payment of bills.
It's been approved and seconded. It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And that resolution passes unanimously.
And I'll move for adoption of resolution number 71 to accept gifts, grants, and donations from the Greater Latrobe Partners in Education Foundation.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded.
Before we vote on the matter, I'd like to present the foundation president, Mrs. Jessica Urbanis, who has a presentation to make, and who also will introduce other members of the foundation board who are here to speak.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am very honored to be serving this year as the president of the Greater Latrobe Partners in Education Foundation. My husband Bill and I have identical twin sons who are currently in 3rd grade at Mountain View Elementary School. We moved into the district because of the excellent reputation that Greater Latrobe has. For those of you in attendance tonight who may not be completely familiar with the foundation, our mission is to ensure the highest level of education innovation by supporting Greater Latrobe School District students and staff with community involvement and a partnership of lifelong learning through philanthropic and volunteer opportunities. We are a nonprofit organization with a volunteer board of directors. Tonight, I would like to publicly thank our board members for their commitment to the foundation and to their ongoing efforts. They are an incredible group of people to work with, I will tell you that. I would also like to recognize our founding president, Marianne White Helfrich, and Vice President Michael Rossi for their leadership over the past 3 years. We have board members in attendance tonight. Marianne, if you could please stand. Thank you. Mr. Jim Okenak and Mr. Lester Sutton, if you could please. I also want to acknowledge Jessica Golden and Sharon Lejeune, who are foundation employees, for all of their hard work as well. Most importantly, I want to thank all of our donors to the Greater Latrobe Partners in Education Foundation. Thank you for your generous philanthropy and for believing in the foundation's mission. I am so excited to announce to you the grants the foundation is making to the school district this evening, totaling $265,850. I am pleased to announce that the inaugural 2014-2015 annual fund raised over $100,000 from the generosity of parents, teachers, staff, alumni, and foundation. The foundation's success speaks volumes about our communities and commitment to great schools and support for our next generation. We are very pleased that we exceeded our goal, and today we are able to show our donors how we have put their gifts to work. We have a short video to show you tonight which highlights the projects that the foundation is supporting through these grants. Everything from STEM learning labs in each elementary school, complete with equipment, to college and high school scholarships, which will help senior high school students in financial need who are registered in a dual enrollment course at a college or a university. I would also like to recognize the McFeely Rogers Foundation for their ongoing generosity and philanthropy to the Greater Latrobe Partners in Education Foundation and their commitment to student enrichment programs. We are pleased to accept $28,400 in grants from the McFeely Rogers Foundation for enrichment programs. Lastly, I am pleased to report that $135,000 raised from donors through the A+ Capital campaign will be used to purchase new computers in all classrooms from kindergarten through 3rd grade. We have already geared up for this year's annual fund, which is called Every Child Needs a Champion. Funds raised this year will continue to support STEM education and the Global Classroom initiatives. The foundation is committed to ensuring that teachers and students have the best tools they need in the classroom. I hope you will consider being a champion for a child for this year's annual fund. Author Miriam Beard once said, "The results of philanthropy are always beyond calculation." I believe this is very, very true. For example, your donation to support a student to attend a camp to learn how to run a business may forever expand that student's world and their trajectory in life. There are currently 4,021 students in the Greater Latrobe School District. We at the Foundation believe that that is 4,021 reasons to give. Thank you, and here's the video. I could just ask Dr. Laughlin to come over and our foundation board members that are present. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, we need to vote on the motion. We had the presentation, which was certainly all the information that any board member would need to vote on the motion to accept the wonderful work and the money that is being given by the foundation. So we need to have a vote on the motion now.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments? Other than we're thankful for the generosity of this community. This group. Seeing no comments, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, that vote passes unanimously.
Now we can do the check.
Thank you, Mrs. Elder. Property and Supply, Mrs. Kozar.
Continue on with the riches that our district has. I will move for the adoption of resolution number 72, the naming of the all-purpose athletic field. Be it resolved that the Greater Latrobe School Board of School Directors hereby approves the recommendation of the Greater Latrobe Partners in Education Foundation, and as per the district's policy 701.1, naming school district facilities, to name the all-purpose athletic field the Grand Sabota Field.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? That vote passes unanimously.
I move for the adoption of resolution number 73 to approve the purchase of an all-terrain vehicle for athletic trainer use.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? That vote passes unanimously.
And I move for the adoption of resolution number 74 to approve the purchase and installation of card access doors.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? That vote passes unanimously.
And I move for the adoption of resolution number 75 to approve the 25-year lease agreement with Latrobe, Greater Latrobe School District Parks and Rec.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And that vote passes unanimously.
And our next property and supply meeting will be Monday, October 12th at 3:30 p.m. That's a change from usual Thursday. So I want to highlight that. That concludes my report on the fund.
Thank you. Under Student Activities and Recreation, I move for the adoption of Resolution Number 76, awarding bids for winter sports equipment and supplies.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That vote passes unanimously. And seeing Dr. George is absent, the Community Relations, Mr. Music, please.
As an attachment, you'll see the meeting minutes for the August 20th, 2015, Latrobe PLC Park Commission meeting. Also, the next meeting will be Thursday, October 15th, 4:30 p.m. The agenda does not say what the meeting is.
And both of the Park and Rec people are here.
So you can call us with that information before October 15th. And, Westmoreland Intermediate Unit, Mrs. Kozar, can you take that?
I will. I'd like to move for the adoption of resolution number 77 to authorize the joint purchasing consortium representative and alternate for the 2016-17 school year.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That vote passes unanimously.
Move for the adoption of resolution number 78, permission to advertise jointly as a member of the Westmoreland Intermediate Unit Joint Purchasing Consortium for 16-17. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? Mrs. Alhouse, can we have a roll call vote for this?
Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Elder? Yes. Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mrs. Kozar?
Yes.
Dr. Lockland?
Yes.
Mr. Mueller?
Yes.
Mr. Music?
Yes.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
So that vote passes 7-0.
The next IU committee meeting will be Tuesday, October 27th at 7:30 p.m. at the WIU board.
Would like to continue.
I have no report other than our joint operating committee meeting will be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at the WCC.
Thank you, Mrs. Kozar. Board policy, Mrs. Elder.
Thank you. There isn't a resolution for the first reading of the board policy. Is there supposed to be? Okay, what we're doing then is we're informing the board that there is a whole list of policies that have had relatively minor changes except for the one policy, number 213, that's being completely deleted from our list of policies. The reason is that all of those things are now in another policy. And most of these policies are done because PSBA, who oversees our policy manuals, have advised us that we need to make changes. We have not adopted all of the changes that were recommended by the PSBA, but we have in many ways just kind of changed our policy a little bit, putting one thing before another, changing a little bit of language. And I would urge the board members to look at the policy manuals, which of course are online, before we have our next meeting, when we will have the first reading of these policies on our agenda, and we'll be able to discuss them at that point if the board so wishes. And I'd also like to thank Dr. Shepard, Mr. Parenta, Dr. Fulkus, and most of all, Charlie Alsop, who figured out how to put all these in order. And we met, of course, in Mrs. Weiger's office and talked for quite a while about all of these changes. And the members of the administration were very informative on how the policies work, whether they work as well as they could, and the changes that needed to be made. And I am personally grateful to all of them for all the work they put in on all this list of policies and getting them in order to be back for the continuation of our school district with policies in place. Thank you.
Thank you. Transportation, Mr. Music.
Move for the adoption of resolution number 79 to approve the transportation contract as listed on your agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? That vote passes unanimously.
And our next fund for the transportation committee meeting will be next Wednesday, September 1st.
Technology, Mr. Palmer.
Thank you, Dr. Watkins. No report on our next step meeting will be at
CSC, Monday, October 12th at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Superintendent's recommendations.
I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 80, which is to approve the resignations listed.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That vote passes unanimously.
I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 81, which is the approval of the substitute teachers as listed.
Second. So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That vote passes unanimously.
And I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 82, which is the approval of support personnel classified appointments as listed. There's quite a few names listed there in 15 minutes.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That passes unanimously.
I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 83, which is the approval of the AmeriCorps personnel as noted last week. We received 2 more appointments of AmeriCorps personnel for the school year as listed.
So moved. It's been moved and seconded. Any comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That vote passes unanimously.
And I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 84, which is a salary adjustment for Ann Ziegig. She had been approved by the board in August as bachelor's step 1, and it should have been listed as master's plus 15 step 1. And this motion would be to make that salary retroactive to higher date August 24th, 2015. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That passes unanimously.
And just to note, the other items that are going on in the district in the next month or two, as mentioned, the EWCTC meeting is tomorrow evening. The first Breakfast of Champions is October 15th, Thursday, as well as the class play this fall. If you can't take it with you, which will be on Friday, October 23rd, and Saturday, October 24th, so hopefully everyone can attend. And, of course, the Bandorama, which is Thursday, October 29th, in our high school auditorium at 7 p.m. And under board meetings, just to note that the first meeting in October is held on a Monday, not Tuesday, so it will be Monday, October 12th. Please note that. Same time, same place. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now have the hearing of visitors part 2. As just a reminder, please state your name and address when you come to the podium.
Good evening. Sorry, I just got over a cold. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I'm glad to have you guys here today and have us be able to come here and state our opinions and what we have to say. We are here today discussing...
Name your name.
Oh, my bad. My address is 502 South Shenandoah Drive.
And your name?
Chris Caruso, Christian Angelo, Dominic Caruso. I am in grade 12. I'm a senior this year. We are coming here to appeal before the board about the prices of the parking passes at our school district. We have done very much research and spent a lot of our volunteer time, just as you guys do on the board, to keep our school great as we do to keep the students happy. What we have realized is the school pays $400, around $400 per student to ride the buses, which are public transportation. That is mandatory by the state for every student to have a position on the bus, a seat on the bus. What that pertains to us is that it doesn't matter if a parking pass is there or not, the school does not lose or gain any money if the school buses are empty or totally filled. Our next thing is that most students who go on co-op or who work make around $7.25 an hour, which is minimum wage, which I am one of them. I'm actually on co-op. I go to St. Vincent College. I'm on their IT department. I'm big into computers. I love computers. I actually make around $5.40 an hour because after taxes are usually for us around a fourth of our hour, so we make around $5.40 an hour, which goes into 100 over 18 and a half times. So opposed to getting to work, the cost of getting to school, getting to work, if we have to go to the hospital for any sick or loved ones, anything that has to do with our car, which is very, very expensive for us, we also have to work an additional 18 and a half hours just to pay for our parking pass to park here. Now, there are 287 parking spaces that students are allowed to park in, not counting any teacher parking places or anything. We understand that not everybody is going to be able to have a parking space, because we can see it from the administrative side of why the cost is what it is, but that's the thing. Doesn't matter if the cost is $100 or $50 or $25, there's still 287 parking spaces out there. If someone has to drive, they're going to pay to drive. So what we are asking you is to at least discuss and rethink the decision on the $100 per parking space in the parking lot, because it's really hard for us to be able to pay that and come to school. It also is $2 a day if you don't have a parking space, which amounts to up of over $300. Also, I'd like to share with you, which we've worked extremely hard at. This is a petition here that has over 340 signatures on it that is asking the board to please rethink the ruling on the $100 per day on the parking passes. Other than that, a lot of people are members of clubs. A lot of people have play sports, a lot of the sports players. Other thing we're asking too is that we don't remove any of the privileges we have, because we love the privileges that we have, and this is a great school district, and I'm glad I go here. We understand that dairy is only $5 a day, but we do understand that you have to play a sport to park there. But why can't we have a great school like that and have a lower cost, maybe not as $5, but a lower cost than that, and still be able to have the freedoms that we do, because we have very many freedoms at this school district. We would just love to see our voices be heard, and this would make a great example to any other school districts, to the students here at Greater Latrobe, if we can hear our voices heard and see a difference. Thank you for your time.
How you guys doing tonight? My name is Nevin Weller. I live at 632 Brinker Avenue. Good evening, men and women of the school board. I stand here today in the company of many of my peers to voice a common opposition to the price of the parking passes here at Greater Latrobe. We have had a look at this situation from the administration standpoint, and we all understand there are carefully thought out reasons for the way things are at our school. But as students, we have one request: lower the price of the parking passes. I have heard too many of my fellow students complain that they have to wait until their next paycheck to fix their vehicle or get more money for other various problems that arise in today's world, which I'm sure you guys all know. I know you all like to go home, so I'd like to ask just two favors from you today. From you as our representatives. Number one, please at least discuss a reduction of the parking passes without limiting the ability of everyone to have an opportunity to drive. Secondly, and this is the last one before I leave, allow us seniors sitting here today, right there, the ability to look back on our high school career and see that the students following in our footsteps throughout the years were able to have a more enjoyable time during their high school experience, and know that those students don't ever forget that they have a voice here and that it'll be heard whenever they show up, and that they don't take what they have for granted, because we definitely appreciate what you guys gave us. It's not we don't have to drive, so we all understand that, you know, we're not just coming up here and complaining and just trying to cause a fuss. We understand, we looked at it from your guys' point of view, and that's all I have to say. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Mina Shnuda. I'm a senior, and I live at 2004 Sully Drive in Greensburg. I'd just like to say thank you for the opportunity to stand here and speak and have the privilege of voicing the concerns of the students. And I'd also like to say that I have a bit of a cold, so if I start like coughing uncontrollably, like don't call 911 or something. Well, I'm also going to try and be brief because I'm only going to really summarize what they said. To put it plainly, we feel that we're paying too much for parking. And we realize that, again, the state mandates that every student needs a space on the bus, and that whether or not we ride on the bus, the school is still going to have to pay around $400 per student. And at first glance, it may seem reasonable for a student to pay a portion of that cost, simply because they're driving. But the problem is that many students simply have no choice but to drive, whether it be work or athletics, or like Chris said, going and taking care of a family member or an elderly family member. But more simple than that, many students choose to drive simply because it's an expression of their own freedom. A student shouldn't have to empty their pockets simply because they can't drive, nor should a student have to empty their pockets simply because they want to express their freedom. We're not asking for absolute free parking because we talked with our principals and we realized the problems that would arise from that. But we're just asking that the school board consider lowering the price of the parking pass without restricting who can and who cannot drive. Thank you.
I'm just an old guy. Excuse me, Greg Fumey, 1143 Greenview Drive, Blossom Heights. Just a couple quick questions. They just brought up an interesting figure, $400 per student. Is that per year to ride the bus? Okay, when I went to what's the name of your little meetings? Your down at the when I went to the property supply meeting, was talking about, did we ever consider building one big school or eliminate a couple schools? You said possibly would be $2 million more a year. Oh yes, you did.
Correct.
And
Mr. Feeney, would you just, if you don't mind, just direct all your comments to the chair?
well, I'm sorry, she was the one, she made the statement.
Direct your comments.
Okay, well, there was a statement made that to bus the kids, if we didn't build the high school, the LES, keep it in downtown Latrobe, it would cost $2 million more a year to bus those children. Well, by these kids' figures here, I just did the math, it's $320,000 a year. Now, I've talked to several people up on that board. There's 3 people sitting up there, of you guys, that told me we never discussed building one school and maybe eliminating 2. And Rhonda, you weren't happy with me last month. You said I insult your intelligence when I talk, and I'm not trying to do that. I just know I'm getting BS'd also, and I don't like being BS'd. You know, Hank Packard didn't just dream up the community center, and he didn't dream up all his plans that he wrote. That came from you guys. It had to. So, you know, I respect you guys. I'm not going to talk to you as you're stupid, and I don't like being talked to that I'm stupid. Now, we're going to also bid for the sod and the sprinkler system down at the Memorial Stadium. Do we still have leaking roofs in our school? Because, again, I think our priorities are a little backwards. I know that the high school roof leaks because the last time I was in it, you can see all the stains in the ceiling tile. You know, we got to start taking care of our buildings first. We have this beautiful complex back here, and it's frustrating. There was a nice letter to the editor today in the bulletin. If you guys didn't read it, pick a bulletin up. You might not like it, but it was well spoken. And finally, Mr. Watson, last month you said, when we were talking, that the new school would cost between $37 and $40 million. That figure came out of your mouth. Everybody else has been reporting $28 million. Am I missing something? And what is, you know, why are we not getting more architects involved in this and finding out if somebody would
do it for a percent or two less, because when you're talking multi-millions of dollars, it's another architect would take that project for a percent or two less. You're talking substantial savings, substantial. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not something that should be overlooked. And, you know, was I correct when you said 37 to 40 million?
If you don't mind, just direct it to the chair and then you're done.
Okay, well, Ron, I'd like to know, Mr. Watson said 37 to 40 million. Okay. I'm sorry, it senseless to cross the
When
limit.
you're done, we'll respond.
I'm not. Thank you, I'll sit down.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Mr. Peters, I think I said between $30 and $40 million, and basically what that takes into account is the interest rate and the 12-year payback. And so it's the 23 or the 28 plus the payback period.
Okay.
So it's the added interest.
You guys have to bid out contracts that, you know, for $20,000, $30,000. And I can't fathom that we're not going to ask other architects' opinions when we're talking millions of dollars we're going to pay. That's puzzling.
Again, I'm Timothy K. Thomas. I live at 1293 Toppers Road, Greensboro, PA, Unity Township. Now I hear all this talk about LES and why we need to fix it or build it or whatever it is. But, you know, you board members, those kids are still going to be in that building for 3 years, okay? Now Hank, who is, you fully accepted his proposal in jargon, and you have sewage flow in the bottom of in the basement. You have mold in the building that's being covered up, which I have insiders that told me this. You have stairwells that you could just put a net up there so kids couldn't fall all the way to the ground floor. You have the balusters which could easily be fixed. I've never heard one question, one concern about the kids. This could be done for minimal amounts of money because you're expecting them to go there for 3 years. Now, if you've seen, UPMC just had 3 deaths because of mold. Okay? So we had mold that was covered up. My gosh, if my little kid went to school there and something happened to him, all your asses would be in jail. Okay, now let's talk about...
Mr. Thomas, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Please don't curse, please don't...
That's not cursing.
Yeah.
Well, that's your opinion in my opinion.
I'm
No, that's your opinion in my opinion. Okay, leave it at that.
No,
Leave it
sir,
at that.
no, sir, I'm the parliamentarian, and I'm telling you, I don't want you cursing.
It wasn't cursing.
Well, don't say it again, please.
Okay, now let's talk about the football field. You want to take the football field, you want to rip the turf off, and you want to put a drip system in and resod it. Okay. I've checked how much the field's being used, which is about 10 times this fall. Okay? Therefore, it isn't excessive use, like it was stated in the paper. This is what the Steelers do. If we want to have the Steelers play, let them pay for it. How many went to the game on Friday? The game was that the 2 teams fought each other and went up and down the field, up and down. That field never tore up once. That field, I have pictures if anybody wants to see them, where we can go have a self-guided tour down there. Whoever's taking care of that's to be commended. And I think that's an absolute waste of money. If you want to do something, then have your games over here on the turf. That's why we built it. Let's talk about, also with that, it was supposedly, it was going to be advertised for the turf. Could I get a copy of that, please? Could somebody send me that, please? Darling, is that possible? Maybe you could send that to me. Also, when I was exploring this issue about the turf, I talked to some people at Clemson University who are turf management specialists. Okay? And they forewarned me of how much this cost, and only certain people could do this. I also talked to turf farms. I also talked to contractors. And without a specification, you aren't going to get a realization of what this is actually going to cost you, because you need more than just piping and that. You need pumps and you need an adequate supply of water. Is there a spec for this that nobody knows about right now? I would also like to recommend these students for what they've said tonight about this parking pass. All the parents and property owners paid for the asphalt. So why does a child have to pay $100 to get a permit to drive to school? I went to Hempfield. There was no limit and there was no money exchanged. Where does the money go if you get $100 per student? Where does that account into your financial records? You know, I also have heard from teachers and students, some of the classrooms have 35 kids in a room. Well, 35 kids in a room, you know, I think like Rick said, we need to address priorities. Where do we spend our money? You know, if we don't have enough room, then we need to make room somewhere, somehow. I would like to know, concerning the LAS, is there test drilling being done at this time on the ground? Also, what the architect is of record,
Mr. Thomas,
yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Your 5 minutes is up.
Well, I know, I have some more to talk. No, we go through this all the time. You cannot just, you just ramrod and you give us this legalese, and it's not fair. I pay taxes as well as you do, and not enough people come to this meeting and voice their opinion. I only have a few more things.
Mr. Thomas, what I was going to say to you is your 5 minutes are up. If you'd like to take a few seconds to summarize, please do, but just a few seconds.
Well, I don't understand why the 5-minute rule came into play.
We set a rule to make it easy for everybody to talk and everybody to get to the point and get their point in. You've made maybe 10 or 15 points in your 5 minutes.
Well, there's a lot more.
If you don't mind, so please sum up and make your...
Well, there's a lot more. There's a lot of things that happen in this district that are not according to Hoyle. Every time I come to this meeting, you have executive sessions. I didn't realize that we had this many problems with employment that we have to have an executive session every time. You know, and as far as...
Okay, sir, I'm going to have to ask you, if you're not...
Well, I protest because you were not allowed to just ramrod us because...
Nobody else is going to talk. Who else wants to talk?
Nobody. So I could take an extra few minutes.
I'll let them talk.
Okay, well, you can talk. And also, before I go, the money that was collected through that foundation to pay back the $10 million loan, I know that it was not paid. No money was paid on the debt, and $4.8 million was collected.
James Argonac, 711 Main Street. I would like to thank the board for all that they do. Thank you.
Christy Kane, 230 Sussex Way. Last week was the junior high open house, and I just want to say how awesome Mr. Roberts is. I mean, all the teachers are awesome, but they mostly talked about the curriculum for the year for the students, and Mr. Roberts said that he's also instituted character training. I was stoked, because my daughter can use that. So I just want to say thank you so much for such great teachers.
I would like to address the students. Very happy you guys came and showed your support to each other. We will be happy to review this for the budget, but it has to be because our budget passed in June for the 2016-2017 budget. I would like to, you know, the $2 a day, and I'm sure Mr. Lucassi went over, was in case somebody only has a couple times they have to come, that they don't have to put out the amounts. As far as Mr. Thomas was pointing out, Hempfield, you know, he went there and paid nothing. And I went to Latrobe and we had activity buses, and I can tell you not as many kids had cars when I was in school and graduated in '85, so it wasn't an issue. It's a different time, so you can't really look back to when we were in school. Ligonier's 120, Hempfield even now is 35. I'm sure you guys researched this, we did as well, to make sure we weren't out of line. Hempfield requires you to have a job or sport, some activity, and juniors and seniors only. So we will be happy to review this, and I'm happy you brought it before us, and we always appreciate that type of attention. And so I do want to thank you for that. I was trying to see if there's anything else that you want to...
Actually, as one who's stuck wearing them all the time.
Yeah, it's great. I'm a student of the month at the next tomorrow, so I'll actually be there. So.
See you there.
See you there tomorrow.
Great, do us proud.
Say it 2 times.
Looks good.
Nothing wrong with that.
Visitors? Motion to adjourn? Second. We're adjourned.
Thanks, guys. Make sure you get them.